Hey Lion, hi folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use he and pronouns. Um, I did drumming today. I did drumming for like half an hour on my electronic drum kit. So I have an electronic drum kit. I jumped on it for half an hour and then I did like 45 minutes of the practice pad. Let me get it. The practice pad thingy majiggy. So I was just doing like singles, doubles, paradiddles, and everything on this thing. And let me show you my drumsticks. It's actually like wounded because of how much I've hit it, used it, and how hard I hit with it. I don't know if you can see, but it's like, um, yeah, there's dents and everything in it. I've been drumming since the start of the year, so I've used these sticks for quite a while. There's a lot of dents and stuff, but that's fine. It's like, I realized drumming is also like a really good wrist workout. Like my wrists were like hurting by the end of it. It's like a lot of control needed, a lot of wrist control needed for drumming. It's a good workout. And I'm gonna work on my film after filming this video and maybe play around some music. And today's video, I wanted to talk about, I guess, my survival strategies in a way, like when things get rough, how I manage things and resources and tools, essentially what's in my armory of dealing with life and surviving. So I learned the concept of, I guess, having a toolbox of coping strategies when I went to therapy, and it was since I started going to therapy that I started adding more tools into my arsenal of survival skills, I guess, in the modern world, you could say, and managing the mental health challenges I experience and adversity in life, essentially. Some of these tools in the armory I have are like psychological, and others are more activities I do to help me return to my baseline level of like feeling okay. And I actually have three modes, you could say. Like I use the words survival and thriving a lot. So I can either be in survival mode where I'm just like, it's a rough time and I'm just trying to survive and get through. Surthrival, which is a word someone I know made up for me. Surthrival, halfway in survival mode and thriving mode, and then there's like full thriving mode where like nothing's really bothering me. My health is pretty good and I'm just living life and I'm just like, yeah, very happy and healthy. And currently I'm in thriving mode. When I had the chest pain a few weeks ago, I was in survival mode. Now I'm currently in thriving mode. So those are the three modes. I'm surviving, I'm in survival, or I'm in thriving mode. That's how I see things at present. Currently in Victoria, Melbourne, at least Melbourne, we're still in lockdown. There are like some modest easing of restrictions, as Daniel Andrews says, but it's not much. And at first, lockdowns really bothered me, and I felt really frustrated with it. And it's understandably so. It's like can't see friends, can't go outside and do things that I normally do. It throws my routine out the window and opportunities to interact with humans face to face, which is important, and all of this. But I guess the more it happened, and like we're in like our sixth lockdown or something, and we've been locked down for like 6 weeks already. Like I fully accepted, like okay, this is I guess COVID life, and we're not gonna be fully out until people get vaccinated and it's safer to fully ease restrictions. And so I've been leveraging lockdown. Like now I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. Lockdown, it happens. I'm just gonna leverage it and use it to my advantage. So I've been doing a lot of film stuff, like making YouTube videos, working on my film, playing around with music, drumming more. I'm just leveraging lockdown and be like, okay, it's a shitty situation. So, and I can't change anything about it. People protest, which annoys me. Protesting doesn't change anything, but I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah, just leveraging lockdown to work on my crafts and become a better version of me. So when lockdowns do ease and I go back out into the world and interact with other humans, it's just like I'm at my best self. I'm gonna start by talking about the different activities I do that help me stay grounded and balanced, or help me get through my day in tough times, essentially. So I also have a variety of different things I do, and I do different things depending on my psychological state and what I feel like doing. So I don't just use the same thing each time. Oh, I might, but it's not like I only have one thing that I do every single time a bad some rough period happens. Like I have a variety of activities and I pick and choose. Okay, this one's helpful for me now, and this one's not so helpful, and then other times this one's helpful but this other one's not so helpful. So I have a variety that I choose from, and I think it's important to have a variety so I don't get bored. And because sometimes things, the one strategy, activity, technique, whatever it may be, doesn't always work in every single circumstance. That's why I think having variety is important. So one thing I do is drumming. um it's just like I just like hitting things. It makes music. Like I hit things and it makes music. Like I think that's part of why I like drumming so much. I'm literally hitting things and it makes music. It's awesome. Another thing I do, I haven't done this in a while actually, is journal. I used to do a lot of journaling on like Google Docs. Sometimes I still do. And earlier this year I also did a lot of written journaling. Like I have a thing, what is it? A sketchbook thing with like a lot of pages, and I just write a lot of things. I used to do a lot of that before I started working, because I had a lot of time and I was just like trying to work on myself. But finding work and having a full-time job has definitely, I guess, filled that void in me and gave me so much fulfillment and stuff. But anyway, I and sometimes I write like letters to myself in a pen using pen and paper. Um, but I haven't been doing that like this past 1.5 months. So that's not a strategy I've been using right now because I don't feel like it's gonna be very helpful to me. But it's in my arsenal. It's like it's there if I need to use it. Another very important thing to me is martial arts, boxing, taekwondo, but exercise in general. Like if I don't exercise, everything's just gonna go downhill and I'm just gonna crumble and my entire system's gonna malfunction if I don't exercise. It's like it's a vital part of my functioning, and if I don't have it, I'm basically screwed. Another thing is playing video games. Just I've been playing video games since I was like 8 years old, and it's a very big part of my life. And I love video games, and that's another way that I guess keeps me happy and helps me survive, especially during tough times. And I'm just like, if I'm just trying to survive, I just go play some games and get by, really. Another thing is actually creating these YouTube videos and content online in general. I used to do podcasts with my friend, podcast episodes last year during like 3, 4, 5, I don't know how long it was, lockdown in Melbourne. I also used to write a lot of blogs and post it. I haven't posted a blog in a very long time because I've become more confident talking on camera and doing this type of content. I think that's why I stopped blogging, but maybe I'll get back to it. I don't know. Basically, I need to have a way to express myself and get thoughts out of my head because keeping it inside will just my stress load will just keep going up and I don't like it. Another thing that can sometimes be helpful for me but not always is calling a friend and talking like over the phone. This really depends though, because sometimes I'm just feeling so low energy and I'm motivated and just sad to call someone and actually have the emotional capacity to listen and respond. So this one doesn't always work for me, but it can be helpful sometimes. Um, Messaging friends though is something I do even when I am just in survival mode, just letting them know, hey, this is what's going on with me now. I'm not doing okay, just so they know. That's how I live my life really. Like at least one of my friends would know my state and like what's going on with me essentially. Another thing I've implemented and I've been making it a habit. It's been a habit for like 3 months already, ish. Yes, is deep breathing. When I first went to therapy and my therapist told me how important I guess breathing is for regulating the nervous system. Like I tried meditation and I tried breathing, but I couldn't really make it work well for me. And so I scrapped the whole thing and I never really took like the practice of deep breathing seriously and not just breathing shallow. But ever since I implemented this habit, it's like I get tired less, not just in general, and not only do I like feel more calm because my automatic response is to breathe deeply and not shallow, but I get less tired when I do boxing. It's like this implementing this one habit just helps me across the board in exercise, in regulating my nervous system, in keeping calm in stressful situations, and all of this. It helps across the board. Just learning how to breathe properly. Also, eating healthy. I'm on low FODMAP. So I have IBS. I am on low FODMAP, which is a diet that reduces like different sugars. FODMAP is like an acronym for like different sugars. So F is like fructose, O is like oligosaccharides. I forgot what the other ones was, but like different types of sugars that if I eat too much of, it will give me pain and abdominal discomfort. So just that in itself, just purely from having this medical condition like over that was diagnosed 3 years ago, it's forced me to cut out a lot of junk food um, just because I can't process it in my system and it would just give me pain. So I've cut out a lot of fast food just from being on this diet. Um, and in general, I have to, I guess, be mindful of what I eat because if I eat too much of something or eat the wrong thing, it'll give me serious pain, and that is a nuisance. And I don't want to intentionally torture myself like that. So I'm very mindful of what I eat and drink. And I notice that like if I eat not so good stuff, I feel very sluggish and it just feels different to when I eat proper healthy nutritious food. And like going outside and seeing green spaces and connecting with nature, like not in like I don't do like any deep nature practices or anything, but just going outside and being present in green spaces and absorbing some sunlight, having some sunlight, I found very helpful for me as well. Another thing is drinking enough water because if I don't drink enough water, I will feel very dehydrated and that's very uncomfortable. And I notice that I need a lot of water. I drink a lot of water because I have to. If I don't, I just get really thirsty and uncomfortable, and my throat gets really dry and everything. So drinking a lot of water is important to me and it keeps me in check. Also, I've been finding cold showers recently a very good way to relax my muscles after like exercise, and it just gives me this shock to the body that like it sort of wakes me up in a way, which is a good thing as well. And I feel like I noticed that I've been able to withstand the cold better ever since I started taking cold showers, like withstanding the cold in general. And like my internal body temperature, it's like it keeps itself warm even though the outside environment is not so warm. And that's like good in a way. So those are the main activities I do, I guess, to or the range of activities I can choose from to do to help me survive, get through my day, or just give me fulfillment and give me meaning in life. But I also use it to survive through the day when I'm at a really low point. And your list of activities may include some of the things that I do or may not, and that's completely okay. and also know that the activities and little practices you do can be unique to you. Like when everyone says that exercise is important and eating healthy and getting enough sleep and staying connected with friends, like we hear this, all of this, it is important. I'm not like trying to eradicate its importance. Like it is important to have these things, but it's also okay to have your own unique things that you do that are not so often talked about. Like it doesn't matter if other people might see it as weird. Like as long as it helps you and it works for you and it doesn't hurt you or other people, then I see no problem with it. Like if it helps you and it doesn't hurt you or other people, there's like no problem with it. And it doesn't matter how weird other people might see it, because to be honest, some of the things I do are pretty unconventional. Like I, I military crawl in my hallway for fun, and to exercise, yeah, for fun, just for the sake of it. And it's also good exercise, but I do it for fun. Literally, military crawl in my hallway. I don't think many people do this, and I embrace my weird side. Like, I'm like I do things most other people probably won't do, but that's okay, and it works for me, and that's what matters. I've touched on this in other videos, but psychologically, just slowly rewiring my brain, like changing the automatic thought pathways and patterns in my head by breaking down old unhelpful thinking patterns and replacing it with more helpful and kind thought patterns and feelings and stuff. That's like the main way, I guess. I guess that's the core of change. That's the core of how I got to where I am today, in a state where I've overcome depression, anxiety, and all of these other adverse challenges in life. Is it's ultimately re recalibrating my nervous system, setting a new normal level that's not so up here in terms of nervous system activity, just being on edge and activated all the time, recalibrating it, setting a new level. It's like, this is your normal level now, Lev, and doing things to make that normal level the new habit and way my operating system functions. And this involves changing the automatic thought processes in my mind as well, because my head, when it was very activated and I ruminated a lot and it couldn't shut down, my entire body was just tense and on edge and followed it, because it's all linked. The entire nervous system's linked. My brain gets stressed and there's a lot of things on it, it manifests in the body as well. I also want to say that, like, if your list of different activities and practices and little things that help you survive or give you fulfillment and whatever it might be is like super long, that's absolutely okay. If it's short at the moment or you don't have anything in mind at the moment, that's also okay. It took me time to figure out and understand what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and that understanding and knowledge comes with time and just living life and experiencing different things and see what clicks and what doesn't. Like, I didn't come out of the womb being like, yes, you have all of these knowledge and skills, and you know what works for you and you know what doesn't. Like, it's really traveling a path and seeing what does work and what doesn't, and what can be helpful in some circumstances and what may not be so helpful in this, seeing what may be helpful in particular circumstances and what may not be so helpful in the same circumstances, or vice versa. Like, the same thing could be helpful in a different circumstance but not that particular one. And it's honestly okay to be weird or have weird things and be different from other people, because I am a weird and unconventional kid, unorthodox kid, and some of the things I don't think many people do, and I'm fully okay with that. And people can say whatever they want to say, because we all gonna have. There's always gonna be people who don't agree with what I do or me or my existence, and this is sort of going down a deeper level. But yeah, there will be people who don't accept and support trans people, for example, but that's okay. Like, I just won't have you in my life. But then I also acknowledge that there's gonna be barriers to achieving equality, and this is a completely different video, so I'm not gonna go into that now. But yeah, there's always gonna be people who would not like me for being me, and that's okay, as long as I have people who support me and accept me for who I am, and just me not lying to myself and actually fully embracing everything, even the things I used to find shameful and weird. Um, I think being weird and different is a good thing, because I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to be me in my own original and unique way. And like, I didn't think that's something to be ashamed of, to be honest. So I'm just fully embracing it, every part of me, um, even the things I consider unorthodox to most people. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.